I didn't lie to anybody that I've been natty as fuck.
No matter how many of his products you buy, you will not have a body that looks like his.
There's nothing you can take to look like Liver King. I would never lie again.
The Liver King is under some serious pressure. Liver King, what's the first thing you think about when you hear his name? If you said steroids, you're in the right place. Kidding aside, the Liver King is under some serious pressure. My lady shot me over a DM on Instagram and said that the Liver King is being sued, but that's no news here. The only difference is this article was being published by Bloomberg Business. For the uninitiated, for Bloomberg Business to pick up the story legitimizes the case against Liver King. Now it says here that this 35-year-old thought that he can get the physique of Liver King as long as he sticks to the ancestral tenets. Now according to this article, my man Liver King, aka Brian Johnson, such a regular name, right? You would expect something a little bit more epic, but yeah, Brian Johnson. He made $100 million. $100 million. Now this particular lawsuit is $25 million. Basically claiming that the marketing around his supplements are faked and misleading. Now that article sparked my attention. I came across a video published by the Liver King responding to Moist Critical. Now this was very revealing. I don't want to spoil it. Let's get into it.
So Moist Critical calls me out, says that I'm back on steroids, has a whole bunch of accusations. I guess here's what I'll say. I didn't lie to anybody when I went on the podcast and I started talking about my earnest commitment to go natural. So this year, starting on January 2nd, I went 220 days without any steroid, without any growth hormone, without any peptide, without anything synthetic.
As the young kids say, Cap, leave a comment below. Do we actually believe that this man went natty for almost a whole year? I don't know.
If you call eating a pound of fresh, raw bull testicles every single day natural, then I've been natty as fuck for 220 days. There's been a lot of accusations. You don't just get more shredded and more vascular and more yada 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 when you come off steroids. Once again, if you go to liverking.com and you see the stats page.
This guy is so good at plugging his business.
So I was about 206 pounds in December, and then I got down to all the way down to 182. So I've lost over 20 pounds. You know, and anybody who interacts with me in real life will tell you I look leaner. For anybody who doesn't believe me, all you have to do is look at my social media photos. Look at it from December to now.
I don't know. I mean, for me looking at this, I see a guy that looks very similar, maybe a little less water retention, could be lighting, could be angling, that's giving off this different look. But does he look much smaller? Not really. Here's the thing when it comes to this guy. If you don't know, what got him in hot water to begin with is he never clarified that he was on steroids. As a matter of fact, he claimed that he was completely natural. An email leaked by Derek from Plates and Dates, who has a very big YouTube channel, revealed that Brian Johnson, before he was famous and known as the Liver King, had reached out to Derek. In that email, he clarified that he spends upwards of $15,000 a month on steroids. I mean, you can see here the amount of shit he was using. Test, Deca, Winstraw, the whole 9 yards. He's using stuff I've never even heard of before. So my point for bringing that up, if you're using all of that stuff for years and probably never coming off, judging on the way his face looks, he's probably always on steroids, he would have lost a lot more mass, right? He wouldn't be that vascular, that dense, holding that much water in his muscles. I don't believe it. So for him to say he was completely clean, I think he probably came off some stuff, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
Tell me that you can't tell the difference. Massive difference. Tell you what I don't like. I don't like the idea of losing over 20 pounds of muscle. I don't like the idea that became the reality of losing a lot of strength. My 1 rep max strict press was like 255 and I couldn't even hit 205 in July. So I've decided to go back on it.
I love it. Just the accepting of it. I'm no longer strong. I need steroids to be strong. I'm going back on it.
I'm taking testosterone. It's a cream. I do 3 clicks of it a day. I'm also doing a growth hormone. It's 2 clicks a day. Really what's considered HRT or TRT.
Stop it! Stop it before I throw this cap at the camera lens. You are not on TRT, sir. Look at that snake vein running from his fucking front delt down to his wrist. Stop it. Look at the vascularity in his tits. Stop it. Look at his face. Looks like a worn out catcher's mitt. Stop it.
It's hormone replacement therapy, managed in the normal range, not a supraphysiological range. So why am I getting back on? I've done what I need to do. I've proven what I needed to prove to me. The commitment that I made to my boys, to my family, to all the primals out there is I would never lie again. I went on record. I went onto my website. I went and said, I told it all. Anybody, like I said, if you're late to the party, that's fine. You can go and you can look at the confessional, why I decided to go back on. I've done what I need to do. I'm living my life by my terms, not somebody else's terms.
I respect that, honestly. He's not doing anything wrong, by the way. Use steroids. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think the justification now starts to become very comical. Also, very impressive that a man can sit like he's sitting, like this. His tits are resting on his top rib cage, and he still looks jacked. Very few men can sit in that posture and look jacked. Steroids.
People get really wrapped around the axle when I talk about technology.
Being on a private jet is the furthest possible thing from primal living. I think he has a luxury $20,000 mattress infused with diamonds. This is clearly all just marketing.
They say, oh, Liver King does X, Y, and Z. He flies in a jet, he drives a car, he lives inside of a house. The name is Liver King, not Liver Caveman.
I like that. You guys like this video?
I didn't show up one day and say, me Liver Caveman, me go back in time, live like ancestor brother, make fire, technology bad. I didn't say any of those things, you know. What I believe is that ancestral living is the path. These things that have nourished us for millions of years, that enabled us to evolve to become the baddest mammalian predators that ever lived. Happy, healthy, robust, fulfilled. What's ancestral as fuck is technology, right? When we left the comfort of the cave and we figured percussion technology, just sculpt a rock into a bifacial blade, to learn how to throw a spear, a projectile, to be able to kill at a distance. Technology, by definition, is a utility to advance the interests of the person and or the tribe. I believe I use social media as a utility. I use it to curate and to create value.
This is clearly all just marketing.
Let's just take a look at how this guy's really living, though. He makes some great points, by the way, right? Technology is utility. It does seem like a justification, but it's an actual fact. This is a businessman, a master marketer, and you know, you gotta admire that. He has his own jet. He has no shirt on this jet. What's the value in any of that video? Pure flex, unrelated to the brand, but also very funny. And then you read the actual caption and you would think it's gonna be like some deep thing. Let's read it. Welcome to the Liver King jet. If you haven't boarded the liver and bone marrow train yet, you certainly haven't earned a seat on this vessel. But if you're putting in the work every day, sprinting towards the hard shit, taking full ownership over your life, take a seat, Primal. Get ready for the greatest journey of your life. What does any of it mean? I don't know, but I'm pumped up. I don't know. There's always someone that has to comment on climate. Look, ancestral living includes planes that contaminate our earth with CO2. Love it. Any chance to get political?
I never wanted to do the Liver King. Anybody who knows me, especially me, I could have never given a public talk. I tried. It was crippling. Words didn't come out of the mouth. It was just crippling thinking about it, much less doing it. You know, when I was younger, I hated my life. I hated who I was. I was ashamed. I wanted to kill myself.
This is taking a turn that I did not anticipate in the video. You were talking about steroids and jets, and now we're talking about unaliving yourself.
I figured a way out of that. And then as I got older, my kids got really sick. It was really these ancestral tenets that got me out of this hellhole. It was the ancestral lifestyle that got my kids healthy, and the light bulbs came on. What kind of piece of shit would I be if I didn't share this with the world?
I understand marketing. So notice that he uses insanely emotionally divisive topics such as, you know what, brought his kids into it. All could be very true, by the way. But then he circled it back to his tenants and what he offers. So he has the cure for the problem that he faced, that you might also face. Typical marketing, also probably a little bit true, which is the best marketing. Marketing isn't evil. It's just, if you can embed it with truth, it's more effective.
4,000 people a day kill themselves. And 80,000 people a day try. They see no light at the end of the tunnel. Critical talks about how he hated his own life. Critical was ashamed of even showing his own face, you know, until I think when he got to 1 million followers or something.
I like how he calls him critical.
Here's who I am. I know how that feels.
He also knows a lot about Moist Critical.
And so I'm thinking, okay, I got a responsibility. I have an obligation. This is my opportunity to make my mark, you know, so that other young men like me don't have to hate their lives and suffer and struggle, so that other kids out there, like my own boys, have a decent shot at life.
I dig the message, all jokes aside. I mean, we're getting on them because we're having a little bit of fun. Listen, I understand about being a good influence. It's something that drives me every single day, because that wasn't my initial intent when I started out making content like this. But it quickly transformed, and I realized there's a little bit of responsibility you get on this camera. So I can stand behind that. And if he's profiting like he should be profiting, he's spending his time and his energy creating compelling storylines, I'm not against it.
This is why I exist today. This is my why in the world. This is why I'm okay. You want to bring the criticism, you want to make the video, this is fine, because I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to get this message out. Does the messenger kill the message sometimes? Yeah, I know that I do. Do I ratchet it up? I do, for 2 reasons. Number one, more. I have fun doing it. Like Critical says, I make shit. This is what he says on all of his platforms. I make shit. When you make shit, when you create and you build, there's this endogenous satisfaction. I did this with my bare fucking hands, with my brain. How do I do that? And why do I do it? Because if we don't get eyeballs on the message, then what does it matter? Somebody once said, oh, but if you just change that one guy's life, it means everything, doesn't it? It doesn't. Because I could go change my boy's life. I could spend more time with my wife. I could spend more time just with my inner circle tribe.
I could spend more time with my wife, but she gets enough of my time. I give her about a half hour a day, and the rest is for everyone else that I don't know.
I can have impact here. What I'm here to do is really share and cast a net so fucking big that we have an opportunity in our lifetime to change the trajectory of human health.
Listen, so far I dig the message. If you're new to the channel, then you're not aware that I have a free newsletter that serves a very similar purpose. It's about making people better, whether it's discipline, mindset, teaching the lessons that I learned through overcoming homelessness, loss of family, chronic injury. I write an article every single week designed to help people get better. I hope you guys will check it out. It's pinned in the comment below.
And he'd lead his followers to believe that if they purchase his supplements and his supplies and eat like him, they could look like him. No matter how closely you follow his ancestral tenets and no matter how many of his products you buy, you will not have a body that looks like his unless you also get on all of the gear he's using in the same amounts of it.
Even if you get on steroids, you lift all the weights that he does, you do everything he does, you're not gonna get those results. This is a guy who's been working out since he was, very young, not to mention he has good genetics. And if you don't believe me, let's take a look back at how he looked before he was famous. As you can see here, this is him very young, and he already had obviously great results. A good build, athletic build, the kind of frame that can hold a lot of muscle.
I've never said, taking my supplements, you're gonna look like me. What I have said is, make sure to get the early morning sun, get your bare feet connected, grounded, anchored into the earth, so that you can express your highest and most dominant form, to express your potential, not to look like Liver King. There's no amount of working out, sleeping, eating, moving, shield, connect, cold, all of this stuff. There's nothing you can take to look like Liver King. By the way, it's not even about love. It's about family. It's about tribe. If you look at the way that Critical suffered, when Critical hit rock bottom, it was Ancestral Tenet 9 that saved his fucking life. The bond, finding his best friends in college, connected him to creating, to let's make shit, to getting out of the hellhole and living a better fucking life.
In every TikTok I've seen of him, his body is bright red.
You don't look like this when you're 100% natural.
There's this accusation that I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Total Recall, that I'm all red and I'm about to explode. To me, this is a great compliment.
The ultimate cope. He says, what's the big deal? High blood pressure? I love that shit.
Because I want to be exploding, growing, expanding, sharing the philosophy of abundance. So why is Liver King so red? Part of it might be because I like to bathe in blood.
He bathes in blood, and that's the justification for why he's red. Now that's some bullshit.
Another part of it probably is because if I'm on the camera, I've been working my ass off. I'm overheated. I just did a workout. You come meet me face to face. And if you still think I look red, we can figure that out together.
He's inviting people to come and see him and for them to work through his redness. The reason he's red is because he's running a tremendous amount of gear that raises your blood pressure. It throws a lot of your internal rhythms off, which causes you to become flush in the face. Your skin gets thinner, your face ages. I mean, this dude's only 45 years old and he looks a good 60. What was most interesting about Liver King was the fact that he's only 5'7", so he's got a lot of mass jammed onto that little frame. And don't get triggered in the comment section. Only 5'7"? Steve, only 5'7"? What are you, a heightist? We got love for all heights on the Steven Strangles channel. All I'm saying is I always thought this guy was about 6'3". But I think Liver King is covered as long as he has never said, if you do these ancestral tenets, you take my supplements, you'll get the same exact results as me. I mean, how fucking stupid do you have to be? You think by taking a few over-the-counter supplements, you're gonna look like this guy who's obviously running gear? Let me know in the comments below, do you think that this lawsuit is actually gonna hold any weight? And also, what's your overall impression of the Liver King in general? Strangle Gang, until next time, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.